Welcome back to Cartoon Universe, where I try to make an 8-minute video out of a 30-second teaser trailer for Hazbin Hotel Season 2. Let's see if I can do it. Now for those who missed it, this trailer appeared on VivziePop's channel the other day, giving us a very small glimpse of Season 2, but it looks absolutely epic. The very first shot we get is of the revamped hotel, something the crew worked together at the end of the finale of Season 1 in order to make look shiny and new again, really bringing it to a new level beyond what it was originally when Charlie first took it over. One thing you'll notice is that the hotel is absolutely surrounded by demons, and particularly sinners, I imagine. And that made sense after the Season 1 finale where Charlie and her friends had to fight back the angels and really make their claim to hell. Throughout Season 1, the Hazbin Hotel was treated as a joke, especially by the news, even when they were interviewing Charlie. But now that they were able to kill Adam and successfully push back the extermination, even Katie Killjoy was on the news talking about how great Charlie and her team is now. From here, there's going to be a lot of hype around the hotel, with people thinking that even if they can't get redemption and make it into heaven, that they might actually be safe here with Charlie and her friends protecting them. But as we hear in the trailer, war is coming, and that is not the end of the conflict, even if it seemed like it might go that way, with Serpentious ending up in heaven. After this shot of the hotel and then Charlie and Vaggie standing around, we see a heavenly beam destroying one of these buildings as Vox announces that there's going to be a war. Even Valentino and Velvet don't seem so on board with this with what little we see of them in the trailer, but Vox seems to think that whatever happened at the end of Season 1 is exactly what he needs to actually take over Hell, as he calls this Hell's Rising. It's important to remember that Vox doesn't just control screens, but also basically everything on TV, and while he may have let Katie Killjoy get away with talking about the hotel in a positive light for a little bit, we can see in this trailer that he's going the opposite direction here and really pitting himself against the hotel, and probably insisting that it's their fault that things keep getting worse. They did end up getting that second extermination of the year after Charlie went and presented her case to Adam, of course, so even after defeating Adam and the rest of the Exorcists, Vox can be trying to play it here that Charlie is the one causing all of the problems that's going to make Hell worse. The teaser calls this a New World Order, and it seems to be Vox's attempt to really take over Hell as a whole, instead of just trying to take control of the radio waves through Alistair like we saw in Season 1. One of the shots we get even seems to feature Charlie and Nifty on the set of Katie Killjoy's talk show, and if I had to guess, they want to do more interviews with her based off the success of their battle, but Vox is going to ruin that for her. Charlie's first appearance on the show was a total disaster, and after the success from her battle, I imagine she'll go into this feeling a bit more confident before Katie Killjoy starts tearing her down again. In the Hazbin Hotel pilot, we even see Vox is on the set for this talk show, so it makes sense that he would want to change the flow of the conversation in order to put Charlie on the spot and make things worse for her. This interview may start out positive with Charlie and Katie Killjoy having a good time, because Katie did see the benefit of Charlie and her friends stopping the last extermination, but Vox will likely be feeding Katie Killjoy some questions that'll trip Charlie up and make this new interview even worse than the last one. This will hopefully be very similar to the pilot scene with Katie Killjoy, having us go back to where the show started all the way back in 2019. At this point, Charlie will think she has grown and evolved and that she's coming back to people treating her better, only to be put in her place again and finding herself trying to convince everyone that she's doing what she needs to in order to help them. At this point, it's unlikely that she even knows that Serpentious made it into heaven, so everyone's really seeing her as more of a protector of Hell, as opposed to someone smart enough to actually get them into heaven. And even without Katie Killjoy or Vox trying to trip Charlie up, this may be a huge problem with her messaging, as a lot of the people who come to the hotel might just be wanting to join her in a war against heaven. Vox was a really mild antagonist in Season 1, but from the very beginning, VivziePop had hinted at him becoming something of a bigger and bigger villain. I'm sure we'll have even more villains, perhaps in heaven or even in hell, but right now Vox seems to be positioning himself to take over the entire Pride Ring, and for Season 2, he's definitely supposed to be the main villain. At least until the end when we get another tease of someone like Lilith, perhaps. Now, another really important part of this teaser, I think, are the shots that include loot, which are very few and far between, but very interesting. In the earlier previews, a lot of fans wanted me to talk about how Lute seemed to have some replacement for her missing arm, whether it's grown back or she has some new attachment from heaven that'll help her out in battle. But what's really interesting here is we get a shot from heaven with Lute seemingly hanging upside down or perhaps even falling down. This imagery is important because it's very much the imagery of a fallen angel, an angel falling downward. Something that Sarah said in Season 1 would be very bad and very dangerous. This was in response to Emily poking around where she probably shouldn't, but when it comes to Lute, we know that she had strong feelings for Adam and really wants to avenge him. This shot of her falling in the trailer seems to be connected to the earlier preview where we can see that she has torn up a room, and in this shot we can see it's even more destroyed. I have to imagine that at this point she found out about Serpentious making it into heaven, and absolutely despises him for it with Adam dying. I like to imagine she's the one who destroyed this room in her rage, probably not getting what she wanted and vowing to take things into her own hands to get her way. way. It's because of that I'm pretty sure that it's Lute who sends that giant golden beam that destroys the clock tower in the Pride Ring, as we see in the teaser. And it may even be her wearing this mask to look like a normal exorcist, so no one knows that it's actually her coming down to hell and causing some trouble. Now, even with this being a 30-second teaser, we still have a bit more to talk about with some of the smaller insert shots, particularly that surrounding the plot of Angel. By the end of Season 1, Angel became a lot closer with Husk, but he's still under the control of Valentino, who he made a soul deal with. And something seems to happen because of that, because in one of these shots, we see Angel trying to jump to the rescue of Husk, who looks like he's going to be run over by something. Something really big seems to be happening with Angel, as we see in one shot what looks like Vox standing behind him and forcing him to keep his eyes open to see whatever's on some screen. Perhaps trying to remind Angel that he's just a porn star when he's trying to get away. Now, the trailer is full of action-packed shots, and I feel like Season 2 is going to have way more battles, as well as more music according to VivziePop, but the most interesting bit we see of it in the trailer so far, I think, is Alistair moving into his full demon form in front of what looks like Valentino's porn studios. We know Charlie has gone to Valentino's studio to try and get Angel out of work so he can spend more time around the hotel trying to get into heaven, and with Fox and Valentino having a vendetta against the hotel as a whole, it makes sense that at some point, Charlie might send in someone like Alistair to make sure that Angel gets home. This is the kind of stuff that fans have been waiting for all the way back since 2019. And while Alistair may just be using his powers to kill some goons here, this might finally be the beginning of Alistair versus Vox, or the Hazbin Hotel against the 3 Vs. We even get another epic shot of Velvet using some sort of weapon. And while this could actually be used against anyone, I have to believe that somewhere in this season we're gonna get a conflict between the hotel and the 3 Vs. In addition to that, we have a lot of other action shots, what looks like Lucifer coming down in his full Seraph form, as well as Nifty going crazy in battle, and even this very interesting shot where it looks like heaven is about to be eclipsed by the pentagram in the sky. Not the one that floats right above Pentagram City, but the one that floats over the Pride Ring as a whole. Finally, the very last shot that I want to talk about is what looks like Sir Pentious back in hell. Here, the background is red, and he's in his demon form instead of his angel form, which indicates that he might fall from heaven and just return to being a sinner, and perhaps that's where he would be happier. It would certainly be a joy for me, as I don't really like Sir Pentious overall, but really want to see how he interacts with the upcoming new character Baxter, with both being something of mad scientists or inventors, who could have a lot of competition. It would also be really funny to see Sir Pentious return to the hotel, even though he had already made it into heaven, as it would completely miss the point of why he went there to begin with, or at least the reason why Charlie set it up to begin with. But here he seems to be engaging in battle as well, and so is Cherry Bomb in a shot right before this, so it looks like their romance may still have some place to go. For me, I'd just really like to see Sir Pentious freaking out about Baxter being there, feeling like he's been replaced after he died, as if Charlie and the others didn't even love him, even though that's not the case. But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe because when the new episodes start dropping on October 29th, you're not going to want to miss our breakdowns. Also, sorry if this video is more scattered than usual. I'm not home right now, I'm recording in a motel room, and I'm just trying to get out and get hiking. See you guys next time!